We live in a world where the boundaries between the real and the virtual dissolve like mist under the morning sun. The very devices that promise connection and belonging can be the ones that quietly distance us from our own essence. A subtle, almost imperceptible force seems to pull our souls into a parallel universe, a digital realm where truth is filtered, shaped, and often erased. A dark paradox is at play. We have never been so connected, yet we feel more distant from ourselves than we ever imagined. We created tools to serve us, but now they shape us, not just in habits, but in how we see life, time, even our identity. Marshall McLuhan warned us decades ago, we design technologies, and then they begin to design us. Your smartphone, small and seemingly harmless, is more than a physical object. It's a portal, a thin veil between the visible and the invisible. A modern oracle that answers questions before we even ask them, and in it, something beyond the image is reflected, a fragmented soul seeking validation in an artificial cosmos. And the children? Their world has changed too. Soccer fields, hide and seek, and the wonder of nature have been replaced by endless notifications. Childhood, once a sacred path of discovery and innocence, has become a cycle of comparisons, likes, and distractions. Jean Baudrillard foresaw this risk, the danger that simulation would replace reality. But no one imagined this replacement would begin so early, shaping entire generations from their first steps. Can you feel the depth of this shift? It's not just about changed habits. We are witnessing the transformation of the very fabric of human existence. We live in a silent dystopia, and few even notice. Remember Plato's cave, a place where prisoners lived staring at shadows, believing that was all reality. Today, the cave is in your pocket. The shadows are perfect posts, hypnotic videos and endless filters. Instead of iron chains, we are held captive by invisible algorithms, digital entities programmed to capture attention and shape desires. Children, once free to explore the real world, now live through curated images and numbers. They don't even question it. Like the prisoners in Plato's allegory, they accept it all as absolute truth. Have you ever stopped to consider how often you do the same? This brings us to a crucial point. Who is behind these shadows? Martin Heidegger reminds us that technology is never neutral. It carries intent, it reconfigures our being. Byung-Chul Han goes further, speaking of the capitalism of attention, a system that manipulates our deepest desires to turn everything into profit. We are in an era where emotions have become commodities and minutes are traded like currency. But here's the good news. There is a way out. As Plato suggested, escaping the cave is possible, but it requires effort. First, we must recognize that we are trapped, that what we see on screens is not the truth. It's a carefully edited version of it. Only then can we take the first step toward reclaiming what we've lost. Only then can we restore to childhood the right to be light, spontaneous, and authentic. Only then can we return to ourselves the pleasure of presence, of being truly here. Now imagine a magic mirror, one that shows only what we want to see, an idealized version of ourselves, flawless, worthy of applause. Now imagine social media as that mirror, the digital lake of Narcissus, where we lean in to admire an image so polished by filters and algorithms that we almost forget it's not real. Here's the twist. Unlike the myth, this reflection is not just an ego's desire. It's collectively constructed, shaped by interactions, likes, and invisible eyes watching us. Nietzsche spoke of the eternal return, a cycle that challenges us to reflect. Are we living authentically, or merely repeating actions that bring momentary comfort? In the digital world, the second option dominates. We no longer live for ourselves, but for the gaze of others. The invisible eyes that validate, applaud, tell us we are good enough. What remains of us in the end, if not the sum of the images we project? For children and teenagers, this scenario is even crueler. Growing up in a world where everything is performance turns comparison into the rule of the game. Influencers, celebrities, even peers become symbols of beauty, success, and happiness that no one can truly attain. Rousseau once said that humans need to be seen and recognized, But he also warned of the danger of turning that need into destructive competition. And here we are exactly where he predicted. A world where the desire to be seen becomes an unhealthy race for validation, while the surface shines, what lies beneath fades away. This performance society forces us to hide flaws, mask insecurities, pretend everything is under control. It's what Han calls the self-spectacle. Our existence is measured not by the depth of connection, but by the amount of attention we attract. It's a cruel paradox. The more we show, the lonelier we feel, because real bonds require something networks rarely allow: vulnerability. This cult of appearance doesn't stop with the young. It spreads across society, redefining values, empathy, integrity, authenticity, replaced by an endless pursuit of status and external validation. It's like navigating without a compass, drifting in an ocean of images and distractions, losing sight of what gives life meaning. But there is a way out. Perhaps it's time to do what Narcissus never did: look away from the reflection. Leave the surface behind. Dive into the depth of real life. Rediscover experiences that don't need filters or applause to matter. It's an act of courage in a noisy world, but it may be the only way to reconnect with what we've lost: our essence, our humanity, and above all, our sense of who we truly are. In ancient Greece, a paideia went far beyond education. It was an ideal of holistic development, where body, mind, and spirit grew in harmony with nature and society. Childhood, in this context, was not passive. It was vibrant, active learning, a time to explore the real world and discover oneself through it. Today, that transformative horizon has been replaced by something far more limited: the cold glow of screens. What was once a journey of discovery has become a passive experience, shaped by algorithms that dictate what to watch, feel, and desire. During the Enlightenment, Rousseau advocated for respecting the natural rhythm of childhood development. He believed children needed direct contact with nature and space to grow freely, without artificial influences. He was right. We live in an era he would call dystopian, childhood hijacked by overstimulation that weakens the bond with the physical world and erodes the human essence. And it doesn't end there. The disappearance of free play and genuine human interaction leaves deep scars. Imagination dries up, creativity fades. Children become passive consumers of pre-packaged content. This isn't just an individual issue, it's a symptom of a cultural crisis. Without something like paideia, we lose the chance to raise critical, autonomous individuals. Instead, we create generations dependent on external validation, afraid to fail, unable to take risks. It's a bitter irony, because learning has always been about failing, trying again, growing. Free play isn't a luxury. It's a vital necessity that prepares children for adulthood. Rescuing what childhood should be requires courage. It's not about demonizing technology. It's about redefining the space it occupies in our lives. Children need spaces to experience the real world, to feel the earth beneath their feet, fail without fear, learn without an algorithm guiding every step. It's a rescue mission to restore childhood's role as a gateway to freedom, self-discovery, and growth. If we succeed, perhaps it won't just be the children who benefit. Perhaps we can all reclaim a bit of the humanity we left behind in the race for convenience and spectacle. We are living in the most connected era the world has ever seen. With a single touch, we erase distances and cross continents. Yet paradoxically, we have never felt so alone. This is the great dilemma of social media. It promises closeness, but often delivers isolation. The Homo digitalis, the digitally molded human, no longer lives in the physical world. They inhabit a universe of avatars, emojis, and instant reactions. But deep down, it all feels empty, weightless, shallow, lacking real presence. Our relationships are becoming fragile, disposable, like contracts we can cancel at any moment. In the digital world, this is even clearer. We don't seek to know someone fully. We consume fragments of their lives, measured in likes, stories, and shares. Modern loneliness is no longer about being alone. It's about the inability to build real connections amid the noise and distraction. For newer generations, This loneliness is even more painful. Children and teenagers who should be learning the foundations of human relationships, empathy, trust, reading expressions and tones, spend hours interacting in virtual spaces. There's no touch, no physical presence, no silence that speaks. Louder than words, the essence of a real relationship lies in genuine encounters, where the self and the other recognize each other as complete beings. But in the digital world, the other becomes an object, something to validate or consume. This disconnection comes at a cost. Jonathan Haidt, studying the impact of social media on mental health, found alarming increases in anxiety and depression among young people immersed in these environments. Platforms designed to connect us end up isolating us from meaningful content and from ourselves. The true despair comes from estrangement, from ourselves. That's exactly what's happening in the digital world. We're so busy trying to please the gaze of others that we disconnect from our own core. The loneliness of Homo digitalis is not just social, it's existential. A growing void fueled by the search for meaning in a space that distracts us from who we truly are. But there is a way out. To find our way, we need to return to the basics: real community, genuine human contact, face-to-face conversations, shared laughter, free from notifications. It's not about rejecting technology, it's about restoring its proper role, a tool, not a substitute for life. The digital human still has a chance to reclaim their humanity. But it requires courage. The courage to face the messiness of the real world with all its imperfections, contradictions, and uncertainties, because it's in that depth that we find what we're missing. The true meaning of being together, the freedom of childhood feels like a distant dream. Before, childhood was a time of running, playing, discovering the unexpected. Now it's been replaced by passive entertainment, dictated by screens that set the pace of life from an early age. If we want to reclaim what it means to grow up, we need to remember something essential: the return to the real. Jean-Jacques Rousseau believed children should develop in harmony with nature, far from the corruptions imposed by society. For him, freedom and autonomy weren't luxuries, they were essential for a human to flourish. What have we done with that ideal? We've handed children over to a digital environment that has little of the natural and even less of freedom. Instead of experiencing controlled risks that teach courage and resilience, they're submerged in a constant stream of notifications and instant rewards that keep them passive and dependent. Play, so essential to human development, has become a forgotten detail. Studies show that the lack of physical play and real interaction harms not only children's health, but also their ability to solve problems, handle frustrations, and build meaningful relationships. Play used to be the purest expression of human freedom, a way to transcend the practical limits of daily life. When we deprive children of it, we're not just stealing their creativity, we're limiting their full potential. More than a lifestyle issue, rescuing childhood means challenging the utilitarian logic that governs our time. We live in a culture that values doing over being, where every moment must have a practical purpose. But childhood shouldn't be functional. It should be lived as an end in itself. Rescuing childhood requires courage, from parents, communities, society as a whole. We need to rethink how we use technology and set healthy boundaries, not by banning devices, but by ensuring they don't replace human contact and direct experience. Children need time and space to explore, fail, learn, without the constant pressure of an algorithm deciding for them. We also need to reignite curiosity and independence. Protecting children from all risks robs them of the chance to grow resilient and confident. Life isn't about reaching a destination, it's about dancing in the present. Perhaps the greatest gift we can give children is that freedom to dance. To discover the beauty of the world without the chains of digital validation. Every step toward a freer, more connected childhood is a step toward a healthier, more integrated society. Because childhood isn't just play, it's the foundation where we plant the seeds of the future. Empathy, creativity, resilience, and the power to imagine new worlds, it all starts there. When we trade that for screens and digital distractions, we compromise not only the children, but the very essence of the human experience. Will we remain trapped in this digital cave, or will we have the courage to step out? True freedom isn't about having the world at your fingertips. It's about exploring it fully, imperfectly, authentically. Rescuing childhood is more than a pedagogical choice. It's an ethical commitment to the future. It's giving children the right to be children, to imagine, create, connect, without the chains of an algorithm. Rousseau said that nature teaches more than any human invention ever could. Perhaps it's time to heed that wisdom again, to rediscover the simplicity of an afternoon outdoors, to embrace a world that doesn't fit inside a screen. In the end, the choice is ours. Will we continue as prisoners of digital shadows, or will we dare to reconnect childhood with what truly matters? It won't be easy, but it's the only way forward. Because, as Plato showed us, escaping the cave begins with a simple act, looking beyond the shadows and seeking the light.